and Day of Fire on the show today. Now, you guys just released your new album. And another thing, just real quick before we move on, you guys had some crazy stuff going on in the studio. So apparently you're an amazing cook, right? You did a lot of the cooking for the band.
I don't know if I'm an amazing cook, but I do enjoy cooking.
Best of 4 or 5 at least. You know, the people in the studio, they wanted you to cook the music.
Yeah, we all cooked a little bit. I guess I did probably cook the most. Josh cooks some.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like just kind of like buying whatever and throwing some stuff together. Made some pasta and some chicken.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing, or what was the best thing that you kind of spent some time making? What was the best thing? Actually, let's not ask the chef. Let's ask the person that ate it. What did he make that was great?
You know what? I pretty much like anything I don't have to cook. So you know. Now you know what? He's Italian. He's an Italian himself. So any Italian food that he makes is always pristine, man. So
now, did you have like the grandma behind the scenes that always made like the authentic Italian food, and that's where it came from?
I come from a big Italian family, and whenever we have get-togethers, like just everybody would bring something. So there was always just a lot of great Italian food.
Gotcha. Now, on the road, do you do any cooking on the road, or is that basically stop and
Don't really have the opportunity to. I recently asked our fans, like on Twitter, I tweeted about, give us some ideas for some road recipes.
Okay.
And everyone was like, well, what do you have to cook with? And I was like, well, we're in a van. Nothing,
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly is pretty much the only answer we got.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, peanut butter and jelly. What can you do with peanut butter and jelly other than just slap it on
Put a piece of banana in there.
Yeah, that's good.
We talked about that earlier.
Good call, good call. Banana, peanut butter, and jelly. That sounds pretty good, actually. I'm kind of hungry. This is all making me very hungry, actually. Okay, so how can fans follow you on Twitter? What's Twitter?
It's just twitter.com/dayofFire.
Day of Fire, okay.
Facebook/dayofFire. We're on there.
Sometimes you get fans who want to be Day of Fire, and they steal your Twitter, and then it's like Day of Fire banned. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, it's just Day of Fire.
People weren't following some, 20-year-old kid that was pretending to be Day of Fire.
No.
We're not that
It might
popular.
seem like that sometimes because it gets pretty ridiculous, like on a 10-hour van ride.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you start tweeting some ridiculous, Twitterific things.
That's always the best thing. Yeah. Now, actually, going back real quick to your time in the studio, I remember you guys mentioning something about how you recorded a little bit differently for this record. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we a lot of bands nowadays will do one instrument at a time.
Okay.
They'll do drums, they'll do the bass, and they'll do the guitar, and they'll do vocals and overdubs. We actually recorded live. We recorded the basic tracks live. We did drums, bass, and guitar all at the same time. And even Josh was actually singing live with us at the same time as well. And he went back and redid vocals and stuff. But and I went back in and overlaid some more guitars. But the basic tracks are live in the studio, which I think is what gives it that live feel and what captures kind of what we were going for, which is the live show kind of vibe.
That's awesome. Now, when you're in the studio and you decide to record, more live type recording like that, what is the difference between doing that and doing, other than the way it sounds, like just when you're in the studio with, cramped studio with a bunch of people, what are kind of the logistics of that?
I think it's, rock and roll music in particular has become like kind of sterile sounding. Perfect, every beat and every guitar, it's like lined up perfect. But that's not how rock and roll music really is, I believe when you record live and you allow some of the inconsistencies to stay in the music, that's where you get the vibe, the push and pull from the instruments. And man, the records I grew up listening to, we grew up listening to, that's the way they were recorded.
Right.
And we're just trying to kind of bring that vibe back, because that's what we love.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you heard it from him, man. The new Day of Fire album, it's got something to it. You might want to check it out. It's called Losing All. You can pick it up through the shop page at TVUlive.com. And of course, make sure you're following Day of Fire on Twitter, twitter.com/DayofFire. You can link up to their MySpace page or check them out on Facebook. All of that is online at TVUlive.com. Guys, thanks so much for joining me on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
It is TVU's Most Wanted.